Hi, my name is Judy Ochollah. Welcome to Sheria. Sheria is a platform that aims to educate the common mwananchi about the law so as to equip and empower them.
Hi, my name is Maina, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Today, we are going to deal with the two major branches of the Kenyan legal system. That's the criminal legal system and the civil legal system. We're also going to touch on a bit on legal aid in Kenya. Karibuni.
All right, so we have the criminal legal system and the civil legal system. So what's the difference between these two? We'll start with the criminal legal system. What is a crime? Let's start with that. A crime is an act that is forbidden, and once it has been done, it affects the general public. So because the public is at stake, what the government does, it takes over the matter. So even if the crime has been done to you or to your loved one, at the end of the day, it is taken over by the state. This falls under the office of the DPP. They prosecute the matter on your behalf, meaning wanachukua kesi, alafu wanafuatilia, they investigate with the court, they investigate with the police, and they follow up. That's a summary of the criminal legal system. Then we have the civil system. The civil system is between the ordinary mwananchi. Sa ile mmekosana, there's like a small wrong, and it is not generally affecting the public. So if it is an employment contract, haujalipwa, and you're supposed to be paid, that's an example of a civil dispute. So you go to the civil system. The difference between the civil and the criminal dispute, in criminal tulisema, you prosecute the matter through the DPP. But in civil, unafuatilia mwenyewe. So you appoint an advocate, and then the advocate prosecutes the matter on your behalf. So that's a general overview of the criminal and civil. Criminal, state. Civil, sisi kwa sisi.
Now, I think we've talked a lot about the law, how the law will help you. So I think it's about time we understand now when to get help when it comes to the law and where to get it. So we're going to talk about legal aid. Legal aid is basically legal help. Venye tu jina inasema. There was an act which was introduced in Kenya. That's the Legal Aid Act of 2016. It provides for the National Legal Aid Service, which is under the Attorney General. So your department, basically, it helps represent people who do not have representation. For instance, if you go to a court of law, no umeshtakiwa, the court always lets you know that you have the right to be represented in case you're in need of representation. Now, kuna wale wenye, they feel like wanaweza, and that's okay. Then there are people who do not have representation, but they need the representation and they want the representation. So what the court does is it notifies the National Legal Aid Service that hapa kuna mtu anahitaji usaidizi wenu. So the National Legal Aid Service comes in and takes up your matter as its own, as though ni advocate wako, basically wakili wako, and then goes on with the matter. There are several qualifications that you have to pass. They can be able to represent you. Amata, you can be able to apply, because there's first making the application, and then they choose if they're going to take the case or not. So what are the qualifications for you to apply to the National Legal Aid Service of Kenya? The first thing is you have to be a citizen, or you can be a child, a victim of human trafficking, a stateless person, or you can be an IDP. You can also be a refugee under the Refugee Act. A certain matter we'll deal with in a different episode. All those things can qualify you to be able to apply. What do they consider before they take your case? Because they won't take all the cases. Like I said, watu ni wengi, mashida ni mengi, and that system is just one system. So what do they look at? Number one, they look at the costs that will go into your case. Wanaangalia, how much will this case cost us? I know it sounds a bit unfair, but it is what it is. The second thing they look at is the conduct of the person. I'm not sure who looks at that. I don't know what they look at in the conduct, but I can assume that conduct to yako, how you behave, how you carry yourself, even in the process of application, it matters. They also look at the probability of success. Hii kesi tukichukua, is there a case? Like I said earlier on, sometimes you go to the court and you don't have a case, and maybe the advocate is manipulating you somewhere, telling you have a case and you don't have a case. So they'll also look at what's the probability of success, because the resources they have, they're a bit limited. Now wanataka kuserve as many people as they can. So now back to the resources, they also look at, do they have enough resources for your particular case? Can they handle it? Sometimes cases are a lot. Can they handle it? So these are the things they look at. Now there's a group of people who are not offered these services. These are companies and associations and such. And we can say sometimes it's unfortunate because you might have a small company, but you still can't afford the legal services you need. But remember, and we learn later, that a company is like a legal person. Basically, kwa macho ya sheria, kampuni ni kama mtu, ni kama binadamu. So sometimes you have to look for the cash to be able to represent that company. So they do not offer legal services for such. That's unfortunate. Hopefully they will change that.
Just to add on to that, we have something known as pro bono. Pro bono is basically an advocate offering their professional services for free. And this can happen where you apply, or the court applies on your behalf, or the court appoints someone. I've been in a scenario where the court, out of the blues, just appointed a senior counsel to represent someone who did not have the financial muscle to represent them there and then. Of course, now, when you're given such an opportunity, you also do it to your best. And most of the time, this is because this ordinary mwananchi, still one, has the right to legal representation, the best representation, but just cannot afford it. So hatuwezi finyilia mtu kwa sababu hana pesa, because it is still their right. So that's an example, pro bono. There are also law firms that have been listed. We will list some below as well that offer pro bono legal services. So pro bono again simply means it is free services. There are also other institutions that offer free legal services, such as Kituo cha Sheria. I'm sure we all know of FIDA and the likes. The list is endless, and we are going to list them down below.
And just to add on what she said, the different organizations that offer, the NGOs that offer the pro bono services, they are tailor-made to certain things. Like you've had the FIDA, basically deals with women's rights and anything to do with discrimination against women. So when you're looking for a particular organization to deal with your issue, you also have to consider what they deal with. Basically, wanateteanga nini? What do they do?
What's their speciality?
What's their speciality? And they will say, usikwe na kesi ya hii, and then these people deal with other things. So we'll also list those things down below, and let us know if you'd like to know more about this organization. We'll always be here to give you more information. So that was all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed, and please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and continue being empowered and equipped. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.